Here we are for round 14 of the 1952 Formulalympics season. We are at Indianapolis, the road circuit. With just this race and two more to go, it's coming down to the wire. Who will be the first Formulalympic champion? Who will get the gold medal in the United States Grand Prix? Well, let's get over to the qualifying session and find out. So here we are for the qualifying session of the race around the United States of America. Now, who's going to get that gold medal? Looks like Sean Barrett's going to go out first to set a benchmark for everyone to try and beat. Now, let's see what Sean Barrett can do, especially since he is one of 30 drivers in the Drivers' Championship that can win the championship, with his teammate Robert Manzon in the lead with 131 points. Sean Barrett is currently sitting in 8th place with 69 points. Here comes Sean Barrett, and his benchmark time, it is a 1 minute 7.1. A very impressive time from the Frenchman, but will he get pole position? Of course, this is the man who's been on pole position twice already, in the first round and at the oval race. Can he do it again? Chuck Stevenson on his return, saying a 107.6, but 4 tenths faster is his teammate Sam Hanks. Well, his now permanent teammate Sam Hanks. Hands stuck 108.6, Johnny Clay's 109.3. And Jean Barrett's 7 tenths slower than his best time. Alberto Ascari, one of the favourites to win the season, and he's right behind his own teammate, Farina, and sitting 4th. As got more than half the field have set at least a time. And coming back to the pits is Jean Barrett. And the championship leader, Robert Manzon, goes into 6th position at the moment, while his championship rival at the moment is Ascari, who's 4 points behind, and who's still in pole position at the moment, and he'll probably reduce that to 1 as it stands, because pole position you get 3 points. Robert Manzon improves his time, he goes into 6th position, ahead of Tula de Graffenried, who did an amazing job to get 2nd place in the last round. Mike Hawthorn goes into pole position. Okay, that's a surprise. The one driver who DNF'd in Finland goes into 1st place currently, so he's going to do the United Kingdom proud, but it also keeps his championship hunt alive, even though the gap between him and Manzon is now exactly 25 points, or the equivalent of a 1st place finish. Now the question is, will he improve his time, and will he be able to get back ahead of Hawthorn? Manzon improving his time, he goes to 4th, just outside of the top 3, but he does improve his position. 4th place is really good. He'll be on the 2nd row alongside his teammate Jean Barrett, and Jean Barrett would get a bonus point. Alberto Ascari improves his time, but does not beat Hawthorn. Ken Wharton, the other Brit, improving his time in 9th position. But down in last place, that's something that happens. Chuck Stevenson on his return goes into 1st place. So Chuck Stevenson fighting back, keeping his title contention alive, and also helping the United States out. Oh, Ascari had a bit of a problem there. I'm guessing something must have happened in the pit lane, but nothing too bad happened, thankfully. Okay, Gonzalez looking like he's not going to beat Stevenson's time. Giuseppe Farina improving his possession, going into 5th place. Getting ahead of Jean Barrett, with ahead of the 2 French teams. Here comes Giuseppe Gonzalez coming across the line, and he's going to improve his possession. He's going to go into 8th place. Okay, here they come towards the line. Can Manzon improve his time on possession? Manzon does not improve, and neither does Wharton. Okay, and that is the end of the session. Wow, what a crazy session that was. Chuck Stevenson on his return has got pole position, just 700 seconds ahead of Hawthorn. Alberto Ascari is 3rd, Sam Hanks 4th, Giuseppe Farina 5th, and then it's the 2 French drivers with the championship leader down in 7th. Of course, let's go to the grid walk and find out if everyone did qualify. Okay, so it's now on to the grids for the Formulalympic race around the USA. Chuck Stevenson in pole position with Mike Hawthorn in second. One of the three championship contenders, Ascari in third with Sam Hanks in fourth. The second championship contender, Giuseppe Farina, is fifth with Sean Barrett sixth. And then the championship leader is down in seventh position with Manzon and Total Grafenried on row 4. Gonzalez and Wharton round for your top 10. Then it's Chico Landi and Hans Stuck on row 6. Then it's Fritz Rees 13th, Johnny Clays 14th, Alberto Crespo in 15th with Rudolf Kraus 16th. Lauren and Shoella is on row 9. The two Dutch drivers are on row 10, and at the back of the grid is Ernst Klodwig from East Germany, with the only driver failing to qualify being Gino Bianco. So with Ascari, Farina and Manzon fighting out for the championship, which one of them will take the win? Or are we expecting an upset victory from someone else? Let's jump into this race and find out. So here we are for the United States Grand Prix with Chuck Stevenson in pole and Mike Hawthorn rounding off the front row of the grid. And of course the championship leader Robert Manzon is down in 7th place, with his two closest rivals being the two Italian drivers 3rd and 5th respectively. So what's going to happen in this race? Well, let's get this race underway and find out. We'll focus the camera on Chuck Stevenson as he is the pole man. And we are underway for the United States Grand Prix. It looks like it was a good start there from Hawthorn, and Ascari I think had a good start, but it was because he couldn't get past Stevenson. That start has gone to waste, and coming to turn 1, it looks like Mike Hawthorn might already try and make the move to take the lead of the race. And yes, Mike Hawthorn has gone and taken the lead of the race already. Let's get the Formula car back to the pit before shenanigans happen. So Hawthorn already taking the lead, Stevenson's down to 2nd, Alberto Ascari 3rd, Sam Hanks 4th, Jean Barrett getting ahead of Giuseppe Farina in 6th, Robert Manzon, the championship leader 7th, Total Grafenried 8th, Jose Fernando Gonzalez on his return is in 9th, and Ken Wharton, the other Brit, rounding off the top 10, fending off Fritz Rees while trying to find a way past the Argentine for 9th. And look at this, the race leader Mike Hawthorn already nearly putting a second gap over the American of Chuck Stevenson. There's Alberto Ascari sitting in 3rd place as we go on board with the Italian, with only 3 points separating Manzon and Ascari for the championship lead. Well, the question is, which one of them is going to win out and who's going to stay ahead? Well, no, will Manzon stay ahead or will Ascari retake the lead? And look at that, Ascari goes and makes an excellent pass on Chuck Stevenson. Well, Chuck Stevenson's trying to fight back, but will Stevenson be able to get the position? No, Ascari is going to take 2nd off of him. And this Stevenson's teammate, hang on, Stevenson's team is still trying to fend off the Italian, but it looks like it was all to naught. And there's Sam Hanks, Stevenson's teammate, sitting right behind him in 4th place. So looking at the nations table, Italy do have a 31-point lead over France, so Italy will lead this race ring as the leaders. Of course, the nations table, the only 5 countries in contention to win are Italy, France, the United Kingdom, Switzerland and the United States, with the United States being the bottom of those that can still manage to win the championship. They are still behind by 64 points. So they really need a good result to stay in the running. There's only 2 more races after this. Mike Hawthorn sets the fastest lap of the race, 108.6, and a great performance there. There's Ascari 2nd, nearly 1.5 seconds behind the Brit. Chuck Stevenson is 3rd, Hanks 4th, Barrett 5th, this Farina 6th, championship leader 7th. Now look, we've got a bit of a battle going on. This Gonzalez into 8th. Getting ahead of Total Grafenried from Switzerland, who's dropped to 9th. Ken Warren starting into the top 10. He does have a good gap on the 11th place driver of Chico Landi, but Ken Warren will obviously be wanting more, especially since he is still within the 13 drivers that can win the championship this year. Do I do the math? 75. Yeah, so I've done my math wrong. So I need to update it. Alberto Ascari taking the fastest lap. Okay, I'll check the table real quick to fix that. 131 minus 75. No, actually just scratch it. I'll figure it out after the end of this race. We'll figure it out by then. try not to do it now, especially since I don't want to look because I'm just going to look distracted and look dumb. Especially, I don't want to see me being dumb for 45 laps now, do ya? Mike Hawthorn saying the fastest lap 108.5, 2/10 faster. While Stevenson and Ascari saying the exact same time to the thousands. And now Ken Warren says the fast lap of the race, and he's going for a move on Josefina Gonzalez to get into 8th position. And it looks like Wharton has managed to pull the move off. Yes, he has. That is Ken Wharton getting both Brits into the top 8. Hawthorn trying to go to the inside, but he isn't able to get past Glodwig. Goes back to Ascari, sits back watching on, trying to pounce the right time. And it looks like Ascari is going to try and make a move. Hawthorn gets past, however Ascari wasn't able to get past as quickly. Dries van der Loof is about to be lapped, and he's lapped by Hawthorn. And back to Ascari, struggling to try and find his way through. In fact, there he goes. There, he's trying to make his way past, and he's lapped the 2 back markers. Then with the gap being 8 tenths per second, separating the leaders. And coming down to the first couple of corners, it looks like Barrett's about to be passed by Giuseppe Farina. What's up between mixed back markers and intense queue of cars? Shenanigans can happen, and shenanigans are well and truly happening. And look at this, Sam Hanks and Chuck Stevenson in a tight battle between them for 3rd place. But Stevenson's going to stay ahead. He gets past Glodwig. No, that's Sam Hanks we're on board with, sorry. As Chuck Stevenson's already got past Dries van der Loof. And now Hawthorn and Ascari coming to the next battle because that's Schuella and Rudolf Kraus, the other East German driver. And Jean Barrett has been passed by Robert Manzon. Robert Manzon trying to get past, but Glodwig looks like he's going to get in the way and make it difficult. And Manzon does get the move. He does take 6th place, so he's now going to try and catch up to Giuseppe Farina. Now go with an overtake there. And Ken Warren trying to find his way past Sean Barrett now. Now Sean Barrett is really slipping, especially since he's trying to get past Robert Manzon to retake 6th place. It's not working out for him. In fact, Ken Wharton looks like he may have just got the move done, and he's now up into 7th position. It's not looking good for Sean Barrett. I think he could end up being knocked out of contention to win the Drivers' Championship. Mike Hawthorn and now Alberto Crespo is next to be lapped. And look at this, Giuseppe Farina has found a way past Sam Hanks. Makes his way past the American. Now he's going to try to catch the other American driver, Chuck Stevenson, to try and ensure the United States will be out of winning the nation's table. And not the fastest drivers, but Jan Flintsman has scored a few points this season. Got 8th in the Netherlands in his home race, with a 9th in Spain, giving him 6 points in total. Hawthorn has passed up 107.8. As we watch on as Ascari goes around to try and lap Jan Flintsman, as he's trying to make up for time to catch Mike Hawthorn. Mike Hawthorn's now over 5 seconds ahead. He doesn't have any traffic ahead or anyone behind, so that might not benefit him as much. And look at this, just noticing Robert Manzon has found a way past Sam Hanks. So Robert Manzon trying to pick up the pace to try and get enough points to stay ahead for Farina, but I think as it stands, Ascari will end up retaking the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And now Sean Barrett has been passed by Ken Warren's been passed by Sean Barrett for 7th position. He's got Total Reed and Josefina Gonzalez behind them. They are currently in the middle dealing with back markers. And look at this, the battle for 3rd is well and truly on as Giuseppe Farina has caught up to Chuck Stevenson. And here comes Farina onto the inside of the American. Will he be able to get past? Farina pushing as hard as he can, but it looks like he is going to get ahead. So we have both Italian drivers in the podium spots. So it's down to silver and a bronze medal for the Italians this race. That's definitely on the cards right now. Like, no. Yeah, further down, this is to the referee trying to get past Clotewig while trying to chase Wharton. Robert Manzon saying the fastest lap of the race, and Manzon has gone past Stephenson for 4th. Where on earth did Manzon come from to catch the American? Either way, a fantastic move from Manzon, pushing him to 4th. He's pretty much trying to keep his chances of winning the championship alive, as well as trying to keep France in the running to win the nation's table. There's the Frenchman trying to figure his way how he can get the Italian to get himself to the top 3. Chuck Stevenson is coming in amongst this fight. And days to a back marker, it can lead to intense battles. And look at this, speaking of battles, Ascari's closed in on Hawthorn. Hawthorn is still unable to get past Shuela. So this is definitely going to spice things up an awful lot. Manzon unable to get past Farina. Ascari unable to get past Hawthorn still. Look at this, both drivers managing to find their way through. And Ascari right behind Mike Hawthorn. He should get the slipstream to probably take the lead of the race. And look at this, down to the inside, the Italian goes. And we come reaching turn 1. Has Ascari done it? Has Ascari managed to make the move stick? And the answer is, oh, it's hard to tell, but it looks like Hawthorn might just make it. Hawthorn just about holds on to the lead. So it's getting really, really dicey between them. And it's still trying to fight for the lead, as Hawthorn is trying to put Fritz Reese a lap down. And I believe that is Alberto Crespo who's going to try and lap for the second time. Oh, Ascari getting close to the wall there. Look at this, the two front runners trying to lap the 2 cars ahead. Looks like Hawthorn might slip his way through into the outside. And Ascari has been duped. He has not been able to pass either of them. That's going to cost some time. In fact, this is Giuseppe Farina catching up thanks to this. While Robert Manzon down in 4th place, struggling with back markers as well. And Chuck Stevenson not really able to do much about it either, as he's stuck behind the back of one of them. So I think it's time we check. We're going to see who is the biggest gainer and the biggest loser. We have a 3-way tie for the biggest gainers. Jan Flinteman, Claves and Manzon, who started 19th, 14th and 7th respectively, and they've all gained 3 places. Then the next biggest gainers are Giuseppe Farina, Wharton and Lawrence, who started 17th, 10th and 5th respectively. The biggest loser is Chuck Stevenson. From pole down to 6th, he's just been passed by his own teammate, Sam Hanks. Look at this, they're starting to get past Rudolf Kraus, and that's cost Stevenson dealer, but it looks like Stevenson has just about found his way through. But look, there's Robert Manzon ahead, and he's still unable to do anything about Manzon. Now Hawthorn is starting to pull away, so he's got a clear track ahead of him, as the 2 Italian drivers are struggling to lap Fritz Rees. Down the inside he goes, and look at this, there's Sean Berra now chasing the American. Can Sean Berra actually finally pass Sam Hanks? Maybe not, he's struggling to get past Crespo, but yeah, it looks like Crespo is going to hold him up. While Sam Hanks will be able to pull a small gap on him at least. Now, Mike Hawthorn has only 1 win so far this season, and that is the oval race. And the oval race was pretty chaotic, and it's Ascari who's won 4 races this season: the United Kingdom, France, Italy and Le Mans. So Ascari has done an amazing job to win that many races this season, this first Olympic season. The Ascari's has gained 5 races, thus undoing his hard work. And here comes Ascari. Looks like he's going to make the move, and it looks like he might take the lead of the race. Look at that, Alberto Ascari takes the race lead off Mike Hawthorn, but Hawthorn is having none of it. He is trying to push back on the Italian. Now they're going to pit this lap. There's Ascari trying to pull away from Hawthorn now, as Hawthorn is pushing as hard as he can to try and catch up. But Ascari setting a faster lap time. Here comes Hawthorn with the slipstream. Trying to go into the turn 1 on the inside, but does not manage to pull it off. And looks like Ascari is going to hold on to the race lead. There's Farina's third ahead of Robert Manzon. Chad Stevenson down in 5th place. He's lost about 4 seconds to Robert Manzon at this point. But he's about 4 seconds ahead of his own teammate Sam Hanks. And look at this. Oh, Ken Wharton has decided to come into the pits this lap. Into the pits goes Wharton. Well, the question is, will he be able to get an advantage pitching in this lap? I mean, he is on the back end of the points, and everyone else ahead of him is going to have to pit at some point, so maybe he sees this as an opportunity to try and catch up. Look at that, straight in and straight out. Good job from Wharton. He's going to come out in 11th, I'm guessing, but here comes Hans stuck into the pits. Okay, Ascari is pitching this lap. Hawthorn is coming to the pits this lap. Farina is staying out for another lap. Manzon is staying out as well. Stevenson's in. Okay, so Farina will temporarily take the race lead. Let's see the leaders in action. Who's going to come in? Well, how quick will they come in and out? Okay, we've got a lot of drivers. So Stevenson, Hanks is also in. Sean Barris come in as well. Let's watch and see what happens here. Graf and Reed's also come into the pits. Looks like Gonzalez is staying out. How quick will this go? Okay, they're taking their time. Looks like, oh, Chuck Stevenson. Oh no, Stevenson hasn't stopped yet. Yeah. But Stevenson looks like he's going to jump the 2 drivers. Hawthorn and Ascari are taking their time in the pits. Okay, Ascari and Hawthorn on the move, and Hawthorn looks like he's going to get ahead of Ascari. But what a disaster here! Chuck Stevenson has managed to come out ahead of the leaders. Wharton has got ahead of Berra, Graf, Reed, Hanks, Gonzalez and Clays, and thanks to him pitting a lap earlier. This is a bit of a disaster there. Now here comes Farina and Manzon to the pits. Where is... Okay, it's down about the shortest straight of the track. Okay, they're yet to stop, come to a stop. And now he's about to now he's going to come round to the IndyCar section, coming down to the last corner. Okay, will it be straight in, straight out? Which is going to be for these two. But it looks like Manzon's on the move already. Oh, Farina still hasn't moved. Okay, Farina's finally moved. And Chad Stevenson's chasing after Stevenson. It's going to be close. Stevenson is going to miss out. He's going to be behind Farina and Manzon. So the championship leader is the race leader of this race. Farina is down in 2nd, Stevenson 3rd, Hawthorn 4th, Ascari 5th, Wharton 6th, Berra 7th, Graf and Reed 8th, Gonzalez 9th. Sam Hanks has dropped all the way back to 10th place. It's a bit of a disaster for some of these drivers. And Sean Barrett sets the fastest lap of the race, 107.354. Now the question is, will anyone be able to beat that time? Might come in handy if they're able to. Now Landy's now been lapped, so which means only the top, so nearly half the grid's been lapped at least once this race. There's Mike Hawthorn, who's in 4th. In fact, I guess we'll check who's the biggest leader and loser. So the biggest gainer is the race leader Manzon with 6 places. He started 7th, he's now in the lead. The next biggest gainer is Ken Wharton, who started 10th, he's made his way up to 6th. And the biggest loser of this race is Sam Hanks, from 4th down to 10th. And second biggest loser is Rudolf Kraus, from 16th to 19th. Wasn't Clodwig, I don't know. Robert and Giuseppe Farina sets the fastest time, 107.0. 7 times faster than Chuck Stevenson, who sets personal best, which was still slower than Mike Hawthorn down in 4th place. because Farina is 1 point behind second place, which is Ascari, and only 4 behind Manzon. So basically, whichever one wins this race will be taking the lead of the championship going into the penultimate round of the season, as some of the back markers are coming into the pits. Everybody is still in this race. Nobody has retired yet, which is really good. It's always good to see that no one retires. Farina sets a fast lap, the first lap under 107. And look at this, the gap is now about down to 7/10 of a second. So Farina is pushing hard to try and chase down Manzon for the lead of the race. So we've only got 10 more laps to go. And look at this, Giuseppe Farina looks like he's found his chance, and it looks like he's going to fight his way into the lead of the race. Giuseppe Farina managed to sneak his way through the back around the back marker and around Manzon to take the lead. As we got the back marker closer coming to the pits, he's currently last of the runners. And now Giuseppe Farina has fastest time 106.7, which is 3/10 faster than Robert Manzon in second place. It's coming up right behind Hans Stuck to put him a lap down. Giuseppe Farina has another fast time, 106.3. With only 6 laps left to go, what bits of last minute drama can we get? Because anything is absolutely possible. And here goes Ascari trying to make the move on Mike Hawthorn. So we might get both Italian drivers in the top 4 instead of the top 5. But Hawthorn trying to find his way, trying to fight back, but I think Ascari is going to manage to hold off the position and hang on to 4th place. And they're still side by side each other. And there goes Ascari, manages to solidify the position and goes into 4th. And we've only just a couple of laps left to go. I think Farina is really set up to get his 3rd win of the season. He didn't start in the top 3, but it looks like he is going to... And look at it! Oh! What's happened here? Alberto Ascari out of nowhere has come up to Chad Stevenson and has passed him for 3rd. I had no idea Ascari closed in that much on Stevenson. Well... I guess you see I was caught napping there as we start the penultimate lap of the race. Now we do have last bit drama. So we got 2 Italians who are set to get a gold and a bronze medal each. Robert Manzon in 2nd place. Well, but there's definitely no way. No, Mike Hawthorn has coached Stevenson. Stevenson is dropping down the order. What on earth has happened to the American team? On the home race, it's all falling apart. So Stevenson's just like that, it's gone from 3rd down to 5th. Been passed by Ascari and Hawthorn. To lap Alberto Crespo for one last time, and Giuseppe Farina is win number 3 for Farina. Giuseppe Farina wins the Italian race and goes into the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Absolutely deserved. Robert Manzon, who was only leading the championship just for this one race, is going to lose out to Farina. And Alberto Ascari, amazingly, out of nowhere, is going to come home in 3rd place and take a bronze medal, just ahead of Mike Hawthorn. Chuck Stevenson, I don't know what happened to him, he dropped down to 5th, Wharton 6th, Jean Berra going to come around the line in 7th position, Tula de Graffenried, decent position for Switzerland, but Switzerland are definitely out of contention to win the nation's table, is in 8th. Sam Haggs takes 9th. The final point going to Argentina of Jose Roland Gonzalez. And now we just gotta wait for everyone to finish this race. Well, that was an unbelievable race. A double podium for Italy, with Robert Manzon losing the championship lead to Farina. Mike Hawthorn did a decent job to finish in 4th, but he was disappointed since he was leading early in the race. Chad Stevenson, the pole third, dropping down to 5th. I don't really understand what happened to him. And then you got Kent Ward 6th, Berra down 7th, Graffenried 8th, Sam Haggs 9th, and the final point going to the Argentine team, thanks to Jose Roland Gonzalez. And further down, we've got Johnny Clayton with a lap down. There's Stark, Landy, Rees. And then you got Laurent that was lapped, Frenchman who was lapped, Crespo lapped, Schuller, and Kraus, who I believe were 4 laps down. then Dries van der Loof were 5 laps down, and Ars Klodwig was 6 laps down. So Klodwig once again will not be a classified driver, and I think van der Loof, for the first time this season, will be classified. So with that out of the way, it's time to check the drivers and in the nations table and see what the impact it's had for the last 2 races of the season. Taking a look at the Drivers' Championship, the top 6 finishers from the American race are the only 6 left in contention to win the Drivers' Championship. So it's both Italian drivers, Robert Manzon from France, both British drivers, and Chuck Stevenson from the United States, with first and 6 separated by only 40 points, but with first to third separated by only 9 points. So Ascari, Manzon, and Farina are realistically the only 3 drivers who have a realistic shot at going for the title. Moving over to the nations table, we go from 5 countries being in contention to win the championship to just 2. It is either going to be Italy or France that is going to win the nations table, but with a considerable gap of 38 points separating the 2 teams, Italy are in a very strong position to win the championship at the end of the 15th round of the season. So, what are my final thoughts about this race around the United States? My one comment I have is, wow, that was probably the best race we've had all season, with a very, very good fight between Hawthorn and Ascari for most of the race, and of course Manzon being in the mix, only to be passed by Farina with just a handful of laps left to go, and Ascari coming out of nowhere to take the final podium spot. That moment for Ascari and Farina could make or break their chances of winning the championship. But don't count Manzon, he is very much still in it, because the only 3 of them separated by 9 points is literally anyone's guess of what's going to happen at the end of the next round. So I hope you look forward to it as much as I am, and hope to see you there and find out how much of an impact has this race made for the next round.